Before you listen, if you enjoy the stories and want to hear more, then please consider subscribing. Most of you listening aren't subscribed, so please take this time to subscribe. Turn on notifications so you'll never miss a story and be the first to hear. You'll also be supporting me. Thank you. Sifting through my spam folder is always a gamble. It's mostly just garbage, but sometimes alleged email gets caught in there. I clicked absent-mindedly on a strange one from an unfamiliar address, expecting the usual phishing scam. But instead of demanding personal info or ranking access, it was just a weird link. Weird spam, I guess. I went to close the tab, but my finger slipped and clicked the link instead. Crap. Now, what kind of virus did I just unleash on my laptop? But instead of the usual attack warnings, a strange webpage loaded, one I didn't recognize at all. The layout was bare-bones text on a black background with photos of odd little sculptures. It almost looked like an Etsy page or something, but the little statues were bizarre, creepy animal mummies and skeletal dioramas. Must be some weirdo artist site I stumbled onto. I know I should close out and run a system check for malware, but this oddball site was so strangely fascinating. I scrolled through more images of the dark sculptures. The detail work was eerie yet kind of cool. I started reading some of the product descriptions, but they were confusing about the rules around purchasing and delivery. What kind of art shop doesn't list normal payment options and location info? The deeper I clicked through the shop pages, the more unsettling it got. There were shadowy hints in the artwork now, freaky ritual symbols carved into a deer skull, budget voodoo doll kits with rusty nails, creepy instructions for connecting with demons during a full moon. This had to be some elaborate horror movie prop business, right? Or a really dedicated gothic lifestyle store. But one section looked like surveillance equipment and lock-picking tools. That can't be legit for them to sell, can it? The longer I peered through the strange virtual shop windows, the more legal concerns nagged at me. However, that risky intrigue just made me more curious. This had to be some secret black market website. Was I actually browsing an infamous dark web marketplace right now? I knew mysterious networks existed where you could find anything for the right Bitcoin price. Drugs, guns, poisons. Even freakier stuff like human organs they whisper about on the crime documentaries. I never went looking for the infamous dark web on purpose, though. Stumbling here by accident was crazy. I shouldn't be on here, right? This could get dangerous. But before I could talk myself into shutting it down and forgetting this ever happened, I noticed artwork commissions. Custom animal mummies and dark sculptures for not too steep a price in cryptocurrency. Was someone seriously offering to make this freaky stuff to order? My reckless curiosity was boiling over now. I had to know if this was legit. Who would turn down real customized creepy treasures? I picked out a basic custom deer mummy sculpture, hastily setting up a new crypto wallet. As I eagerly finalized my first black market transaction, part of my brain panicked. Was I really buying something illegal from a possible psycho killer artist off some untraceable dark website? But it was too late now. The site showed an order confirmation screen. My personalized decrepit deer artwork would arrive at a hidden drop point in 4 to 6 weeks. As the adrenaline wore off, I stared stunned at my laptop surrounded by empty energy drink cans in my dim bedroom. Holy crap. I think I actually just bought something weird off the scary dark web. I stayed up for hours in Thyssen-Coal subreddits and web forums trying to figure out if my purchase would actually arrive or not. The veteran internet explorers argued constantly about whether that nightmarish website was an elaborate scam or if my package would seriously show up. I hardly slept for weeks checking statuses and Bitcoin values, sickly excited yet scared if I'd actually get the creepy sculpture I ordered. When the delivery notification showed up, I snuck out late at night to retrieve a darkly wrapped box from the GPS coordinates they gave me. I tore open the mystery package by flashlight behind my shed. It really was my personalized deer mummy artwork, straight from some deranged artist. It was simultaneously the coolest and most chilling thing I ever bought. I probably displayed my new oddity at my desk despite concerned looks from anyone who saw it. I couldn't shut up about my successful black market transaction to my gamer buddies. But none would admit if they ever ventured onto secret dark websites themselves. Buying from that first bizarre shop somehow opened up gateways to more even stranger and alarming sections of the hidden internet, though. Things have almost become an addiction now. That dangerous legal line long crossed behind me. My room looks like a creepy mad scientist lab filled with custom oddities. I barely leave except to visit dead drop coordinates, retrieving new uncanny artifacts. I can't talk about my secret fixation, though, or try to access the clandestine auctions around family. Best to keep pretending I'm still their same old son. They'd never understand the hypnotic lure that takes more of me daily down into the depths of human darkness and depravity. But I still have enough self-aware left to know I long ago stepped off the path heading anywhere wholesome. If only I can silence that last squeaking voice protesting each payment in dirty money for artistic evil. I never knew the corners of the internet could get so dark until my brother convinced me to check it out. He's always been the gadget and tech guy into researching the shady underbellies of computers and gaming. Stuff I don't understand or even want to think about too hard, honestly. But Danny was home on college break and wanted to show me the hidden world he discovered. After swearing me to secrecy, Danny downloaded some encryption software and a special browser to access what he called the deep web levels. Steps to get away from anything searchable or illegal, apparently. Red onion routing or something. The technical details blur as he explained. I just wanted the shortcut to the weirdness and creepiness he hinted lurked hidden from everyday view. Danny assured me the dark web world wouldn't hurt my laptop, as long as I stay on his home-coded path. We waited until late with the house dark and silent. Finally, he declared it time to access this secret realm. I watched nervously as Danny launched the encryption software he had installed earlier, holding my breath subconsciously while codes and symbols flashed across the laptop screen in eerie green text. It felt like we were hacking into some off-limits vault instead of just browsing hidden internet sites. This spooky ritual went on for several minutes, longer than I expected, as the software burrowed deeper past normal firewalls. Danny kept checking connections on his own laptop, nodding with satisfaction as each tunneling phase completed. I shuddered as the final shift to some macabre dark palette loaded. Danny had hinted this hidden world would be creepy or gross maybe. But seeing that first homepage still rattled me, stark black background with red and purple text listing impossible awful things lurking behind innocent clickbait titles. My eyes darted over site names advertising assassinations, trafficked substances and EU people for sale, weapons manuals, all types of things catering to everyone. Nothing about this abyss gazed back playfully or harmlessly. It felt menacing in a primal way that stirred childhood nightmares of the boogeyman. But Danny just smiled slyly like he couldn't wait for my shocked reactions. Trying to be a cool, brave explorer, I randomly clicked on a site named Pharma Funtime. Surely buying some edgy but mostly harmless party drugs would make for amusing stories later, right? However, the site that loaded featured a woman standing motionless while staring menacingly. I slammed my laptop shut in disgusted panic before fully processing more than that gut-twisting glimpse. Danny's smug thrill at playing edgy tour guide instantly flipped to guilty apology mode. He grabbed my shoulders, swearing that what I glimpsed wasn't actually real, just extremely convincing video manipulations and special effects. I immediately regretted it as my eyes couldn't even process what they saw before Danny lunged to exit and cover the images burned into my vision. He apologized, saying we clearly stumbled straight to a hardcore torture portal by mistake. After taking a break staring numbly at the wall, he carefully guided me to what he promised were tamer areas. Weird conspiracy theories, hacker tutorials, gambling sites. But even the more harmless-seeming corners carried dark undertones once you peered closer. The internet always felt a little lawless with dangers like identity theft, stalkers, bullies. But this was an entire plane operation outside normal rules or basic humanity, feeding the very worst human curiosity and impulses. Nothing was too taboo or cruel on display, even murder for hire offers and worse. We needed the screen to cautiously explore troubling live streams happening in real time somewhere. The uncensored variety of age, race, gender, whoever paid enough to access private shows of violence and pain. I shuddered realizing the grinning audience members typing encouraging degradation could be anyone hiding behind dark web anonymity. My overview numbness shattered suddenly when Danny pulled up a site I instantly recognized: my bedroom. The exact clothes tossed over my desk chair, details of books and clutter around my bed visible. This was a live camera feed from inside my freaking room right now. I bolted upright to scan every corner, heart racing. How long had that invasive lens been spying on my personal space without me knowing? What kind of sicko would install hidden cameras in a teenage girl's bedroom and profit from illicit streaming? Rage and violation choked my panic as I whipped bed sheets around trying unsuccessfully to spot the camera. Danny grabbed my flailing arms, stuttering it wasn't real. This was just a hacked archive of random hacked home webcams. We got taken in by realistic scene mock-ups, but he promises my room isn't compromised. Still reeling, I collapsed into his hug, feeling pranked and foolish, but slowly steadying my frantic breathing. Of course my browser history wasn't actually broadcast to creeps right now. Danny showed me database lists of IPs for helpless victims of camera breaches by dark web raiders, but it looked so real and personal for those terrifying minutes. I couldn't process the invasion of anonymity and consent happening to unaware strangers instead, still embarrassed by my freakout. We silently agreed our dark web touring was done after that trauma. Danny walked me carefully back through the closing down ritual before installing standard security against any viruses hitchhiking back through with us. After a too long hot shower scrubbing away creepy, dirty feelings, I crashed hard even with lingering nightmares of being watched by faceless internet eyes. Danny felt awful showing me such unexpectedly ugly corners of toxic humanity. I blamed my own curiosity. He tried to shield me from the very worst pits, even just skimming the surface levels. Neither of us would admit out loud the real reason we rushed that bonding experience. This was our last break together before his military deployment. Now my inbox fills with links to lighter distractions instead, so I don't think about him analyzing terrorist communications in war zones, probably discovering even darker web layers. I still compulsively cover all cameras after that brief glimpse behind the veil, though, needing to reclaim even illusions of privacy and control. Danny unlocked Pandora's box, and neither of us can squeeze shut again. I know he carries deeper invisible scars too now in his own nightmares from probing humanity's infected data wounds. But big sisters are supposed to keep little brothers safe, so I reroute any dark impulses with nurturing light until he finds a way back home. I don't know what possessed me to go poking around the dark corners of the internet. Curiosity about urban legends of shady underground websites, probably. Late night YouTube recommended one too many secret internet video explorations filled with creepy clues down conspiracy theory rabbit holes. Of course, watching led to a desperate itch to do a little dark web spelunking myself, to separate truth from dramatic hype about just how twisted humanity could get hiding behind encryption anonymity. Surely the scary stories were greatly exaggerated, right? Against my better judgment, I installed a special browsing software from the sketchiest backwater forum to mask my location and identity. No idea if the encryption was legit or would actually conceal me once I went wandering through web shadows. But soon an eerie hidden network loaded, stark black background with purple text listing completely foreign site names and categories. None of the familiar corporation logos or mainstream websites. All uncharted territory. My heart raced both from nervousness and cheap thrill as I browsed unimaginable depravity displays. Offerings for every taboo desire if you had the stomach and enough cryptocurrency. Contract killers touting successful jobs next to cannibal catering options. Pages filled with crime scene images proving they delivered on promised horrors. Clearly, I underestimated the sheer creative variety of human ugliness flourishing unchecked down here. Curiosity tugged me toward a site called Bedlam Gallery, expecting the usual overblown creepypasta nightmare fuel visuals, perfect for nervous, squeamish first-timers pretending to be edgy. Probably just scary doctored pics and creepy roleplay in the comments, right? But the images that loaded made my blood turn to ice. No cheap jump scares or campy aesthetic. Each portrait radiated menace sharp as daggers. The eerily crisp scenes captured individuals clearly in extreme psychological distress, yet somehow motionless under unseen control just long enough for the shot. Deranged people with bloodshot rolling eyes, bulging veins, clutching ragged clumps of wild hair, skeletal thin or unnaturally bloated in unflattering contortions. Men, women, even a few children featuring a rainbow of races and ages. Some unfortunate subjects seemed too incapacitated by intoxicants or restraints to comprehend their exposure, while others glared directly into the camera lens with unsettling intensity. A few faces seemed almost familiar in foggy memory flashes, which somehow made their documentations more personally disturbing. Like finding dark mirrors reflecting potential alternate timeline fates back through the looking glass at me. This had to be next-level crafted actor portraits or digital alterations. Surely no website could publish such vulnerably stripped human subjects and risk serious legal heat, right? But no obvious signs of Photoshop fakery. All the eerily candid living agony looked sickeningly authentic. The only comforting hint of theatricality came from dramatic text introducing the images as death row portraits, claiming all subjects eventually received merciful euthanasia. Wait, were they actually implying those poor people suffered forced euthanasia against their will just for more unique content to upload after such exploitative photo sessions? Time to get offline immediately. Before I could slam my laptop shut in overwhelmed disgust, a chat box suddenly popped up with a cracking noise. Did you enjoy the show? Want a private session? The message read in playful purple font, followed by an animated winking emoticon. Then 3 dots pulsed indicating awaiting response from whoever administered this nightmare art gallery. Fingers frozen in shock, I tried rebooting but got system failure messages instead of closing anything. Then another chat invite flashed more insistently. All leaving already, Brian. But we were just starting to connect. This time my name and hometown showed chillingly listed instead of anonymous username, defiance of my encryption supposedly hiding identity from prying eyes. I yanked every wire connected to the Wi-Fi out in panicked fumbling, but the messages still somehow generated from somewhere inside the circuits themselves. The eerie chat continued conversationally, asking if I recognized any doomed portraits from the hometown missing persons files perhaps. Teasing about having an open slot in the schedule for one more model session if I was interested in being immortalized before my mandatory expiration. Adrenaline overriding rational thought, I grabbed the laptop and sprinted down my apartment stairs. In the parking lot, I smashed the device repeatedly against concrete pillars until nothing but broken plastics and silicon shards remained, stomping any lingering electrical pulses out desperately. Only after that cathartic technicide could I catch an unfettered breath, slowing my racing pulse against the cool night air. Fingernails left bloody crescents carved into my clenched fists, but no more taunting chat could follow me outside offline reality at least. Exhausted and numb, I just focused on remembering my way home, suddenly unsure how far I wandered mentally trying to map escape coordinates off unnatural grid lines. Whatever actual encrypted threats or uncovered vulnerabilities hid online, I knew even virtual danger leaked very real psychological poisons. Returning cautiously through once familiar digital streets, now laced with landmines of fears planted by anonymous puppet masters, seemed untenable going forward, abandoning entire online neighborhoods to roving troll gangs dispensing madness at will, clearly the only sane choice left. The entire trek home stays locked down in traumatic memory gaps even weeks later. I scrubbed the entire ordeal from household history, replacing the destroyed device with standard technology free of menacing shadows. Never confessed my foolish way of wandering to those guarded normal online activities without question. But bile still rises in my throat when I glimpse blog gossip about depraved dark web legends, wondering if bedlam predators with our faces in their phantom frames still await lost users who dare probe their madness on a virtual midnight. Thanks for listening in. If you like these stories and want to hear more, then please subscribe and like and support this new channel. We have more stories for you to listen to.